What's going on, everybody? This be your boy DJ Anonymous with Sports Biz Music, the podcast, episode 102. And I have a special guest on the show today. I have Ms. Neha Assar on the show today. How you doing?
Good. How are you, DJ Anonymous? Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I know it's a big time difference for you being on the West Coast and I'm over here on the East Coast and it's early morning over there. So I know you probably just waking up and stuff, and I'm glad that you came on the show.
Okay.
To sacrifice some sleep.
When my feet hit the floor in the morning, I'm ready to go. So you don't have to apologize or anything. I'm happy to be here.
So for the people that may not know about you, I guess over here in Florida, you could introduce yourself a little bit to the people.
Yeah, definitely. So, again, my name is Neha Assar. I am located in Los Angeles, California, and I come from an Indian background, and it kind of explains how I got into my artwork, which is henna body art. I've been artistic my whole life, and my parents would take me back to India, and I would be in restaurants or even on the street corner, and people would be doing all kinds of artwork on people's hands, and it really intrigued me. I would always get it done, and when I just remember coming back to LA and being in school, and during art class, I would cover sheets and sheets of paper with little tiny henna designs, and year after year, I would get like best artist every year. I would get the best artist of the year or whatever in the class.
Wow.
And one day I had the opportunity to pick up an actual henna tube, which we call a henna cone, like an ice cream cone, because it looks like that cone shaped. So I had an opportunity to pick up a henna cone, and I was basically interviewing for a position at a salon, and I got the job. And 25 years later, I'm here doing henna body art still professionally, and there's no regret,
Wow, that's amazing. So you was born in India, and then you moved to the States, or?
No, I was actually born in Santa Monica.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was born and raised in LA, but
So you the first generation?
Growing up, it was what?
No, I'm asking you the first generation Indian American in your family?
Yes, I am first generation.
Okay.
I am. Yeah, so I really lucked out, it's like I picked up an art form that I really like, and I mean, I fell in love with it, and it took me to so many different places, and it loves me right back, so it's been good. So
tell us about, like, the beginners, as far as, like, I guess, who was, like, your, I guess, official first client or first show or something that you showcase, you actually showcase your artwork in front of, I guess, thousands of people.
Well, so I guess that's like a couple things in one question that I can address, because, like, I just remember, being in the salon. I went to the salon, and the salon owner gave me this henna tube, and I used my sister as a model, and I did henna on her, and the lady said, well, you're a little slow, but I'm going to hire you anyway. And she hired me, and I thought, like, who the hell is going to want henna, like, on a regular basis? But there's no way I can make, that much money out of doing this. Like,
right.
Who cares, really? And at the time, I was only 14 years old. So
right.
That's why I had that mentality. I was very immature, and I was young. And being a freshman in high school, like, I didn't want to go to work, and I just wanted to be a kid. And it was my mom that, like, really pushed me. She says, you have a gift, you really should pursue it. So I did. I accepted the position, and 3 days later, she had a bride waiting for me in the salon. And
wow.
That was my first official client was a bride, and that was a lot of pressure, because brides want extensive body henna done on their bodies, and so it goes from, like, the elbows all the way down to the fingertips on both sides of the arms and the feet. And I was 14, and this woman was 32, and she did not want to marry the man that she was marrying.
Wow.
So that was like a big shock, you know,
Yeah.
because in our culture, it's like if you're not married by a certain age, like your time has passed. You might as well have like an expired sticker stuck on you, you know. And this woman was just kind of like, you know, I don't really want to marry this guy, but my dad told me that if I don't find anyone by the time I'm 30, he's going to go find someone for me. And he sure enough did. Like, he went to India and got this man for his daughter to marry. And so that was a big experience for me, being so young. And I'm like, wow, like this woman's getting married to someone she doesn't want to marry. Like, it was very hard for me to digest.
Right.
So that was my first Indian bridal experience with a client. But in terms of, like, doing my artwork in front of a lot of people, like, that was a turning point for me. I had spent so many years doing henna on arms and legs, which is the traditional way to do it for Indian brides. And I was itching to do something out of the box.
Right.
And I wanted to take my henna art to the next level. I needed people to see it, and Instagram wasn't cutting it. You know, like putting hands and feet on Instagram, like that was cool, but I needed something impactful, and I wanted to really move people.
Right.
So, I don't know, like I have this thing where I kind of say things out loud and I put things into the universe, and somehow the universe always delivers and gives back. So I had this thought for a long time, and I got an opportunity with LA Fashion Week, and it was opening night. They told me, you know, we're giving you a model. She's going to be nude, and you have free reign to do whatever artwork you want to do on her. And my God, it was like, I think it was so life-changing, because at this point, you know, all these big designers are out showcasing their work, and I get to showcase my work on opening night. Like, that was such a big deal for me. So what I did was I took this model, and I conceptualized her hair and makeup for the show. And it was really extravagant, but like with so many Indian elements too, to make it kind of traditional but modern. And I spent 3 hours painting a sari blouse on her with henna. And a sari blouse is it's essentially just a crop top that Indian women wear under a sari.
Right.
Or they wear it with like a long skirt, you know, like with a maxi skirt.
Yes.
And so I put jewels in it, and I put glitter in it, and it was unreal. I mean, people like NBA stars were like out there watching me. I mean, all kinds of media were there, like all kinds of influencers were there, and I just remember doing the first strokes of designs on the model, and I was shaking because I was so nervous.
Right.
You know, yeah. So that was that.
And how was that feeling like to finally like have people see like your work, because you know you've been doing this since you was young, and at that moment, how did it feel to see so many people just recognize your talent and just be like amazed from it? Like how did that feel at that moment, at that time?
It was really just unreal. I don't think I was even able to process it. I just remember like so many artists being in that room alongside me, and I just remember a lot of the attention being on my artwork, and people were kind of like pushing me out of the way to take pictures with my model, and I was okay with that. I was so okay with that, because I was like, that's me in another form on this model, and so many people get to see it. It was so unreal. It took so long to process it. But after that experience, I feel like people expected that of me. So I got so many more gigs where I was doing live art on nude models,
right?
You know, for other events, which really carried out well.
and it opened up a lot of doors, you know, ever since then.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Like I just love to hear, you know, like people like yourself stories like the beginnings, because, you know, even for people like myself, it's like we're still trying to search for that next big, you know, that next big step, you know, in our career. But like, you know, to hear your story, you know, how you had your first big break, you know, with the wedding and then with the LA Fashion Week, you know, it just gives a lot of, you know, more motivation for a lot of people, you know, especially us hearing, in the, you know, on the podcast, more inspiration.
Yeah. Well, I really hope so. And I mean, I feel like when you say, you know, that you're always looking for the next big thing, I feel like a lot of people tend to give up sometimes. Like, they get so comfortable at where they are, and they don't explore that thought of, like, what's next. And it's a special type of person to keep thinking about how they're going to evolve. And I think it's really important, because as a student, you want to evolve. As a parent, you want to evolve. As a business person, you want to evolve. Like, because you want bigger and better things. So I just hope that it does inspire people to kind of think outside the box and know that there's so much more that they can do. Even if you have one tiny skill, like, you can take it to great measures if you really want to. Right.
That's what it is. At the end of the day, it's all about self, you know, like self-motivation, self-love. You know, it's always about self at the end of the day. So
I agree.
So let's before we recorded, we talked about a little bit about the history of the henna, like the tattooing. Can you explain, like, in depth, like, you know, give us the history of the henna tattoo, like the artistry of it?
Definitely. So henna is a 5,000-year-old tradition. Mm-hmm. And it's not just used in India. It's used all over the Middle East, parts of Africa, you know, and now all over the world. But I want to say the origins, you know, were from that area. Traditionally, you know, it's actually like henna is a plant, actually.
Right. Well, I didn't know that.
And yeah, it's a plant. So people always say, what's in your ink? You know, and it's not really an ink, it's a plant. So you take these leaves off the plant, and as you're picking the leaves, your fingers start to stain. So it has a natural staining property. And so you pick the leaves, you dry them out, and they crush them up into, like, you know, a fine powder, and then it gets sifted through some sort of fabric. So it's like triple sifted, and you get this really fine powder of essentially dried henna leaves. And after that, you know, you add your essential oils, and however, each henna artist has their own recipe on how they do things. But you add all your ingredients and you make a paste. And I make my own paste, and I package my own paste, and I sell my own paste online. Because it's 100% organic and, like, chemical free, which is really important, because there's henna paste out there that can burn your skin if they put chemicals in it, and just a whole different thing. So, but, you know, traditionally they would pick these leaves and make a paste out of it, and henna has a natural cooling property, so it sucks the heat out of your body. And in parts of Africa even, they would put henna on the bottom of their feet so that it would stay cool, and you could walk around barefoot without really burning the bottoms of your feet.
Wow, I didn't even know that either.
And in India they did it too. It also has a natural sunscreen property, so it protects your skin from the sun because it's a cooling agent. It, like, keeps you cool. But eventually it became like a ritual to adorn yourself. And mainly for brides and big celebrations. In our culture, weddings are like the biggest celebration in the world. Like, if you're getting married, there's going to be 1,000 people at your wedding, and it's a big deal. So, and it's a 5-day process. So, you know, a lot of it is adorning the bride, cleansing the bride, getting her ready for the big day. And, you know, they use the henna paste to create really fine artwork on the arms and the feet. And